Hi everybody, I'm Chuck Alton and welcome to our show today. Just a few days before Christmas and everybody's hustling and bustling here in Bisbee, Arizona, where we are in the convention center in downtown historic Bisbee, Arizona. This is an old mining town for those of you who are far away and don't know about us. Come here and enjoy one of the more exciting and fun places to at least spend a weekend. Some people come here for a weekend and end up buying a house. We have all kinds of wonderful weather here. You'll see my guest, Tianya, that she's dressed like people in most part of the country can't dress during the winter time. That's what it's like here. We're in the mild early 70s today, getting down into the 40s at night. We can expect that for a while longer. And if it's typical of any other winter that we have, we'll get a little bit of snow here too. We're a mile-high town, a little over 5,000 feet above sea level. We're surrounded by 17, Cochise County is surrounded by 17 mountain ranges, all different and all spread out over this 6,000 square mile county, Cochise County. What else can I say about Cochise County? It's relatively poor, it's rural. If you're looking for a job, don't come here. If you've got money, come on down. Maybe you want to start a small business. There's all kinds of things that we need here in Bisbee and other places. I'll tell you something interesting. The mayor, David Smith of Bisbee here, is working with the mayor of Naco, Sonora. And Naco, Sonora is our sister city, sister town, and it's right across the border from Naco, Arizona. They call it ambos Nacos, both Nacos. And the two mayors are working together to develop a directory of goods and services that you can't find here, but you can go over there and find, like seamstresses and other things. I don't know what's going to be on the list exactly, but they're working on putting that together to promote commerce between the two towns crossing over the border. I understand that there's a lot of people in the northern parts of the United States that look at us and feel sorry for us because we're right on the border and it just must be hell being there with the way things we hear about, the way things are going on in the cartels and what have you. I'm happy to tell you, we don't have those problems. People come from Naco, Sonora to shop in Cochise County and in Pima County, which is where Tucson is, and a shopping center typically will tell you that a third of their business comes from south of the border. So people come here to shop. They really don't come here to work. I'm not going to say they don't come through here, but there's really nothing to keep them here. There's no jobs here, and there's not jobs really for them in Cochise County either. If they come through our corridor, which is fairly porous, then they'll go to some other place in the country to find work and make money. But I did do an interview with the sheriff of Cochise County, Mark Daniels, now in his second term. Mark told me in the interview that we had just 2 or 3 weeks ago that our border from a law enforcement standpoint is in as good a shape as it's been in the last 30 years. So that's a good thing. You hear about all the troops that we've put down on the border, military troops that are here to be of service to the Border Patrol. We do have that, and there is some barbed wire being put up. But you know, I follow the news. I'm a news junkie, and there's not going to be a wall from coast to coast. That's just not going to happen. And if it doesn't happen like right this minute, it's not going to happen. Because as you know, the Democrats will take over the legislature in January. And one more thing the sheriff told me that I found was quite interesting, that a person who builds these walls called the sheriff and said, I'd like to talk to you about these walls and what have you. And the sheriff said, well, you can talk to me all you want, but what you really want to do is to talk to the people who live here. And so he had a meeting with the people that live here, and they weren't very hospitable. They basically, the sheriff said, they did not appreciate this man's protocol at all. Believe me, if there was supposed to be a wall on that border, it would have been there a long time ago. But everyone who runs for a national office says they'll get the wall built. and it doesn't happen. It's very, very expensive. We have technology. There's other things that we can do, like help to prop up the economy of communities and nations that are to the south of us and keep people at home. You know, they come here because they want a better life. They come here because there's drugs and there's gangs, and we have those here too, but we have it more under control than they do in other places like Guatemala. So a little background, we're here in Bisbee, Arizona, coming to you today on any number of places on the internet. We're doing this ostensibly for Cochise Talk TV network. It's a Facebook page, and we invite you to join us from time to time. If you would like to reach me to tell me, ask me questions, or tell me things that you'd like to have me talk about or do some research on, I'm Chuck Alton, one word, at yahoo.com. I have an amazing guest here today. She is Tianya Milagro, I'm sorry. She's just absolutely terrific. You're going to have more fun listening to the things that she has to talk about. She's here to my left. Pablo Pencil is here on the camera today and doing a fine job for us. We thank you so very much for joining us, for being here with us today. We hope you'll stay for the whole program. We're going to talk about life here in Bisbee from the perspective of a person who's lived here all of their life. And we're going to talk about medicine and health too, because Tianya has a brand new business. It's an apothecary, and she's all about alternative health. Our sponsor today comes to us from here in Bisbee. It's Pace Avenue Takeout. Chef Ginger Ryan does an amazing job of perfecting comfort food, and she does a big job, and her company is growing and growing. She puts out a different meal every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can get free delivery right here in Bisbee, or you can come and get it, as we say. We'll be back in just a moment. I'll be here with Tianya. You're going to love meeting her, and I'm going to really enjoy talking to her. We'll be back in a moment. You know, just saying the name, Pace Avenue Takeout, makes my mouth water. Nobody does it better than classically trained international chef Ginger Ryan.
Her desserts are to die for. The lemon mascarpone cake, that's my favorite. If it wasn't for Ginger, since I live alone and don't cook very often for myself, I'd starve to death. What can I tell you? So I buy meals from Ginger probably an average of twice a month. It's economical. The servings are always double what I can eat alone by myself, so usually I have some left over for dinner the next night.
This month's menu is online at CochiseTV.com. Large portions, low prices, on a wide variety of foods. Pick up on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or take advantage of their brand new free delivery. Chef Ginger will even prepare deliciously healthy meals for you every day if you want, for less than the cost of shopping. Just call the local order number on your screen and get started eating real good in the neighborhood. Say Pace Avenue Takeout, and you, my friend, are saying a mouthful. Well, welcome back. Thank you so very much. I'm here with a new emerging friend. We know each other mostly from being friends on Facebook. This is Tianya Milagro, and I was just telling her, boy, there's a nice rhythm to that name, because I have a tendency, it's an unusual name.
It is, very.
And I have a tendency to kind of, you know, get a little brain freep.
Totally,
you know?
totally, a little
but
blockage.
Tianya Milagro, one of the most versatile people on the planet. As a matter of fact, she's going to sing us out when we leave here after our next break. But we're going to talk about health right now. What has caused you to want to start a new business called Apothecary Milagro?
Well, as far as the name Apothecary Milagro, I wanted to be sure, because what I am most interested in, what is most important to me, is the use of natural medicine. And not only that, because within the realm of natural medicine, there are still plenty of, for lack of a better term, snake oil salesmen. There's lots of capsules in a bottle, all natural. This will help you with that, that'll help you with this. And the fact is, because there aren't any FDA management of supplemental things in that area, you never know what you're actually getting in that pill if it actually contains that thing. However, if you go straight to the source, you utilize the plant, whether it's a tea, a tincture, a poultice, a salve. There are so many ways to utilize plant medicine, and you know exactly what you're getting. Not to mention it is available to everyone regardless of economic differences, where their health insurance lies, who their doctor is. People can enable themselves, and most of the things that they need can be found either through, if it's more medicinal, plants or in their area, and more than anything, simply by changing their own eating habits and paying attention to the nutrition their bodies are absorbing. And there are many things, even for specific ailments in regards to nutrition, there are many adjustments that can be made to help with those ailments without prescription drugs or anything like that.
Is a tincture, is that a bark?
A tincture is actually where you take, it's an extract. Chartreuse is only brewed in France. The only recipe is hidden in a monastery. It's made by monks. They started that in the mid-1400s because the blend of various herbs, it was a way to preserve plants for medicine through the winter. If things stay dried on a shelf too long, they will age. Of course, the fresh plant is going to die away.
Right.
So they'd soak them in alcohol to get the constitutional properties and chemicals of the plant into the liquid, and then you can take that liquid and just dribble a few drops in something you're drinking, eating, put it right in your mouth, and that way you still get the properties of the plant, all the medicinal value, but you don't have to have it available immediately on hand.
This is not at all unlike going to a Chinese pharmacy.
Very much so, very much so. In fact, it is almost exactly the same as that, and the Chinese have so many thousands of years of knowledge about medicine, and particularly their use with herbs. They're just amazing. And in their society, it's a much more normal, natural thing to use plants as medicine.
Well, it is natural.
And we're figuring that out. And I think also in Bisbee, there are a lot of natural healers, a lot of people interested in alternative therapies, natural medicine, herbal medicine, plant medicine. And I think we're also greatly influenced by our Mexican counterpart because there is a lot of use of natural remedies in Mexico.
I didn't know that.
So much so. Curanderismo, curanderas and curanderas being an almost shaman-like healing figure. And I mean, so many people I've known here growing up with friends that were Hispanic, folks I meet to this day, especially now that I'm running my own plant-based medicine business, that will tell me about, an ailment that they had that they needed to take a prescription drug for, and then their nana had them eat this combination of 3 foods and it disappeared. I had a man at Food City who was actually ringing me out as I was buying medicinal herbs, tell me that he had gone to the doctor for kidney issues and the doctors were about to operate on him. Working at Food City, one of the Hispanic women there in the produce section said, how about you try this, Jamaica? It's hibiscus flower tea, for those of you who don't know. And he drank Jamaica 3 large cups a day, went back to the doctor for pre-surgery, and his kidney issues were gone.
Wow.
And there's endless examples I could give on chaparral being used for MRSA infections, so many things, but it would take so long. However, we have that influence. We have so many Hispanic people here that choose to turn to those remedies instead.
Now, having said that, you have told me in the past that you don't poo-poo pharmaceuticals.
Not at all, not at all. And that's one of the most important things is there is very much a need for Western medicine. There are appropriate times when you need antibiotics. For instance, I just mentioned a MRSA infection on the skin being treated with chaparral. If that infection has gone too far and evolved into something more dire, you need to go to the hospital. If it has traveled into your bloodstream instead of just being a surface infection, you will probably need to be in the hospital on an IV drip of antibiotics. There are varying degrees of what you need, and I will be the first person to tell someone that it's in their best interest to go to a doctor. I mean, unfortunately, and this might become more prevalent depending on how our country goes, but I've had women contact me asking for herbal options for abortions and things like that. I am not going to tell someone to use an herb for an abortion. You risk bleeding out, all these other complications. There are reasons to go to a doctor and utilize Western medicine, absolutely. But that doesn't mean not to explore these other options, particularly and most importantly in a preventative manner. There are so many issues that can be prevented, especially I feel for someone my age who is in their 30s, there are so many things I can prevent. Unfortunately, a lot of people wait to turn to natural remedies until they are already experiencing a particular issue. And natural remedies can still help even if you are using Western medicine in some way. There's almost always something else that can be done to assist with that process. But yes, Western medicine is very necessary. Do not just try to walk away from it.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, very
Absolutely.
good. All right, good. And real quick, because we're almost out of time for this segment, CBDs.
CBDs, yes. Oh my goodness. Well, for me personally, I consider marijuana to be the mother plant of medicinals. Not necessarily because it's more efficacious than anything else, but because when you take all these, ginger's good for nausea, I'm trying to think, feverfew for headaches, elderberry for immune boosting, mullein for lungs, even smoked. You can smoke mullein as an expectorant. The list goes on and on. Yes, these things are efficacious. However, marijuana is the only plant that does all of these things. It helps pain for cancer patients, nausea as well, relaxes our eyes for people that suffer from glaucoma. So you have this amazing healing power in one plant.
Yeah.
And I personally believe the reason that it's illegal is because the pharmaceutical company could be so threatened by it. But because we now have CBDs, which are for those of you who don't know, a THC-free marijuana extract. So you're reaping the benefits, the medicinal benefits of the plant, but you do not experience any high, nor do you have any THC in your system, so it is 100% legal. You get all the exact same benefits. There is no reason not to do this. You can get it in an oil, in a powder. You don't have to smoke it. So people suffering from health issues can benefit from all of the healing properties of marijuana from a legal and safe substance.
It's a Milagro plant.
It is a Milagro plant with a Milagro product.
It's a miracle is what we're saying. Okay, we're going to take another quick break here. And when we come back, Tianya has agreed to sing a song for us and play guitar. And she'll do this in Spanish, which she speaks as fluently as she does English. It's a real thrill to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Chuck.
And we'll be back right after this brief timeout.
Naco, Arizona. Who knew? You can play a round of golf, live affordably, explore history, get your car fixed, have a cocktail, take a leisurely stroll across the world's friendliest border, and now enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner all on the edge of America. Announcing the all-new Borderline Cafe and Market. Brand new in Naco, bringing a lifetime of culinary experience from the Chef Andrews family to yours. One more great reason to visit and experience Naco. And it's all about generous portions of delicious, world-class comfort food and small-town prices. Naco, Arizona. Happy kids, friendly people, entertainment, and great food at the Borderline Cafe and Market. And there's plenty of free parking. The Borderline Cafe, brand new and ready to please your palate. On Towner Avenue in Naco, across the street from the Gay 90s bar. How incredibly convenient. And now, you know.
So this is a Mexican tune called Cumbia del Mole, which is by the artist Lila Downs, also from Mexico. Se toma el mezcal con café, cuentan que en Oaxaca se toma el mezcal con café. Dicen que la hierba le cura la mala fe. Dicen que la hierba le cura la mala fe. A mí me gusta el mole, que soledad me va a moler. A mí me gusta el mole, que soledad me va a moler. Ay, 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 mi querida soledad me va a guisar un molito por el cielo de Monte Albar. De noche sueño contigo, mi querida soledad, me va a guisar un molito por el cielo de Monte Albar. De noche sueño contigo. Ay, 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 ay. Se huele con cacahuate, se huele también el pan. Se muele la almendra seca, se muele el chile, también la sal. Se muele este chocolate, se muele la canela, se muele el pimiento y clavo, se muele la molendera, se muele la molendera, se muele la molendera. Cuentan que en Oaxaca con aguas de chocolate, cuentan que en Oaxaca con aguas de chocolate. Dicen que en la fiesta Torrito sabe quemar. Dicen que en la fiesta Torrito sabe quemar, para quedar su manda por la pasión de soledad, para quedar su manda por la pasión de soledad.